Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Race Pascal, and I have a question for you all. Do you have a pattern of attracting toxic relationships? Well, you may think that by breaking up with your partner or ignoring that friend, the problem will go away, but toxicity can continue to show up in our relationships until we make some changes. Here to share more on this topic is inspirational speaker and best-selling author TJ Woodward. TJ, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here. I love being in this conversation, and I'm looking forward to it.
I love this conversation. I don't love toxicity, but I think it's important for us to understand how to deal with that. Now, you say toxicity starts within. What does that mean?
Well, in our culture, there is a huge conversation now around how to remove toxic relationships from your life. And usually, when we hear people talking about it, we hear it as an external. My boss is toxic. This work environment is toxic. My partner is toxic. And what we're inviting is to unplug from that and take a look within and really look at how we can actually heal the inner toxicity so that we have the ability to choose different relationships.
Okay, what do you say to the phrase, we need to change because we cannot change others? That's true?
Well, yeah, well, if you're anything like me, I spent the first maybe 20 years of my life, 25 years of my life trying to change the world so that I could be happy. And, it didn't really work. And at some point, I realized the change really needs to come from within. I operate under the knowing that we came into this world as whole and perfect beings, and then we get programmed to believe that we're damaged or broken, not good enough. We walk around with these core ideas and honestly, this core vibration. And then we're out in the world, and not only are we attracting relationships to match that vibration, but we're actually attracted to them.
You say to reconnect to our wholeness and radiate. That's a beautiful sentiment. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, another thing we hear a lot about in our culture now is the law of attraction, the idea that we attract relationships into our life that mirror what our thoughts are. And what I'm saying is, rather than looking at it as the law of attraction, I invite us to look at the law of radiance. As I heal those inner core false beliefs about not being good enough, not being lovable, we return to this original perfection, I call it, this beingness that we came into the world as. And from there, we start to radiate that. And then it feels like magic because suddenly the relationships that maybe we've been struggling with for years or decades start to heal themselves as we reconnect with our true nature.
That's beautiful. And I love this message of looking within to heal, but I'm sure we have some viewers at home maybe that are watching. They're like, oh, well, that sounds really pretty, but how do I even begin to do that? Do you have any practical steps on how we can begin that process of looking within to heal?
A wise person once said there are 3 steps to healing: awareness, awareness, and awareness.
Wow.
And it starts with me becoming aware that I am creating my life, or what I call reality, based on my point of view, based on whatever belief I'm holding about myself. But deeper than that, what's that frequency? What's that vibration? Really early in my life, I decided I was unlovable, and I was walking around and my body was closed and I was really radiating this I'm not lovable. And I kept re-experiencing it in my life. Becoming aware of that and aware of what got put on top of this effervescent being that we all are, that's the steps: awareness, awareness, awareness. And then we can start to shift how we view ourselves in the world, and then the relationships start to heal.
You touched on something very interesting. It's not just a mental aspect. You commented on even the way you carried yourself closed up. So it's also about how we present ourselves physically, huh?
Absolutely. Physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. I like the acronym PIES. We all have aspects of our being in all 4 of those rooms. And when we focus on healing all of them, then we can become a whole, that's really holistic healing, healing all parts of ourselves. It's not just about changing our thoughts. It's also about that frequency. It's about what's happening in our body as well.
Thank you, TJ, for joining us. For those of you at home, if you would like more information, you can head to tjwoodward.com. We appreciate your time, TJ.